Welcome to the LA Business Podcast, a forum for business owners and senior executives to share the experiences about the elements that drive their success. Your host is Robert Brill, CEO of BrillMedia.co.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the LA Business Podcast. Today, our guest is Kirstyn Shaw, founder at the very best cookie in the whole wide world. Thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So this is super exciting. Tell us about the very best cookie in the whole wide world, and is it chocolatey?
Oh my gosh, it's so chocolatey. I think the chocolate might outweigh the cookie.
Okay.
The OG cookie. They're delicious. So I did a pandemic pivot. I lost my job at the beginning of the pandemic, and I'm very much a busybody. And the first month of quarantine, I was just running all over town, ding dong ditching all of my friends with chocolate chip cookies. And I have been working on this recipe for probably a decade, and people have been telling me for years I should sell them. And I've done them for friends' weddings and party favors and, miscellaneous events over the years. But the timing was right, and I set up a shop on Shopify, and that was 5 months ago.
Okay. So how are things going over the last 5 months?
They're pretty good. I've done about 45,000 in sales. I haven't done any marketing yet. It's all been word of mouth and a little bit of press. But yeah, slowly growing.
That's incredible. So, what do you think is the reason for the sale, for the amount of traction you're getting?
I mean, the cookies are really good. I think a lot of people are buying them for themselves and then sending them as gifts to friends. They make a great way to brighten up somebody's day. I have greeting cards on the website also, so that kind of inspires people to look at events that they have in their life and send them as gifts. I think it's also very nostalgic, and it's a happy product. Who doesn't love chocolate chip cookies?
So where can we buy them? Because I'm ready to buy.
I know. Well, aren't you keto? I need a keto cookie.
Yeah, I am keto, but I'm recently off keto.
Oh, perfect. I'll have to send you some for your cheat day.
Okay.
The website is theverybestcookie.com.
Theverybestcookie.com. Fantastic. So, I mean, and how do you charge for them?
I have a Shopify website, so it is $25 for a 6-pack of cookies, and I deliver locally and ship nationwide.
Wow. So are you going after Milk Bar?
I mean, I don't really think there's any competition there. I mean, they're a huge brand. I would love to be on the same level as they are, but
they started small. I mean, they were like one shop.
Yep.
And a tiny shop at that, like the type of shop where you have to wait outside while your cookies or your ice cream is being made.
Yeah,
like there's no room to actually be inside. That's incredible. So, what's in the most delicious cookie in the whole wide world? Sorry, I got the name wrong, I think.
Oh, it's a mouthful. Don't you worry.
What is in the very best cookie in the whole wide world?
So the dough has a resting process. It rests for a couple days, and I think that allows the flavors to really caramelize and develop. And then I use 3 different kinds of chocolate. There's a chocolate chip and 2 different kinds of Belgian chocolate, super dark and a regular dark chocolate. And they're really big bars that I hand chop, so it gets a really chocolatey layer throughout the whole cookie. Mm-hmm. And they're topped with sea salt to balance out all that chocolate, and it's just a delicious treat.
That sounds fantastic. So what did you do? I see on LinkedIn here, the Playground, Natalie, a Tired co-founder, Kika Clothing. Tell us about how you got to this place.
Yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur in LA for since I was 25, so almost 15 years. My background is fashion. I had an eco-friendly clothing line with my mom for a number of years. That's the Kika Clothing. And then we shut that down in 2015, and I helped her launch a women's subscription clothing company. But that wasn't really my calling. So I got a job working in hospitality. I was serving at a restaurant called Rose Cafe in Venice while I kind of figured out my next moves. And being an entrepreneur in LA, I really found that there was a need for kind of a mixed-use co-working space that had all the amenities that you use on a daily basis on site. So that's what I've been working on the past 2 years. That's the Playground. So it was a co-working space that was going to include fitness studios, childcare, beauty services, and a cafe. It was a pretty big project.
So this is not your first entrepreneurial gig. You've done this a few times.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that you've found over your journey here with Natalie Attired, with the playground, now with the very best cookie in the whole wide world?
I think customer acquisition has always been a huge problem. All of the companies I've worked for have pretty much been bootstrapped, so not having a huge money for marketing has been a big problem, and just kind of trying to growth hack that. I mean, I'm still doing that. I haven't gone the Facebook, Instagram ads route yet, just because for me at this point, what converts the best is getting a cookie in someone's hands. So,
How do you do that? How are you doing that now?
oh my gosh. Well, when I first started, this was maybe like 3 weeks into the business, I created a postcard. I actually have some sitting in front of me. It says, "You forgot something,"
Okay.
but I think you should try it anyways. So I was, for those of you that aren't familiar with e-commerce, there's what is called an abandoned cart, and you can go in and see all the customers' information. So I selected a handful of people who had abandoned their cart that didn't live in an apartment building, so I knew I would have access to their front door to leave a sample pack of cookies with the postcard. And I did that with a handful of people, but I got bit by a dog at the last house, so that scared me into doing that anymore.
Wait, so I'm sorry. So basically, someone went to your site, they abandoned cart, and you gave them cookies anyway?
Yep.
Okay.
And it worked. 3 of the 4 people that I sent them to bought cookies, but I haven't figured out another way to do that that's less invasive.
Yeah, you don't want to risk getting bit by a dog. Jeez. That's dedication. What I like about that is that it's usually the most unscalable stuff that works really well. And you get a lot of learnings out of that. And when you get a lot of learnings, you can then find ways in time to like scale that.
Yes.
How do you scale that?
And when have you ever abandoned your cart and then gotten a free product out of a company like that? Nobody does that. So I think it's fun, and it builds brand loyalty, and people loved it.
So, I mean, you must have a fair amount of word of mouth coming in. Like you must have a pretty robust network. Yeah.
And just being an entrepreneur in LA for so long, I already had a big network to start. And because I'd sent everybody cookies for a month, people already knew how good they were.
Yeah.
So it grew pretty organically at the beginning. And now I'm at the point where I really need to figure out how to spread my wings and get more customers.
Well, I definitely have some ideas on how you can do that, but maybe that's a conversation that's me pitching you, but like that's what we do, right? That's how we scale our business. We help customers grow and drive leads and sales and fantastic return on ad spend. But you're right. Trial is the key element here. Do you have a way of lowering the cost so that maybe you're not I'm thinking about the sample tactic, right? Instead of spending $25 for 6 cookies, can you spend like $5 or $10 for like, $5 packet as a sample?
Yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I do have a $10 option on the website, but it's more of a secret item. So I need to take the curtain away from that and start posting it. It's hard though, because with shipping, I have to use FedEx 2-day, and the shipping, I'm actually losing money on the shipping. So to spend $10 to ship a product that's $10 is silly.
Right.
So it would work more for local people, but my delivery charge is also $10. So I need a storefront or some way for people to access those where you're not paying as much for delivery as you are for the cookie.
Right, because I hear you. So you really need to make money on the second and third purchase. One of the things that I've been hearing in marketing circles is that the next wave of that's going to drive business is going to be recurring revenue offers. If you can turn this into a recurring revenue, the once a month $25 cookie subscription or $50 cookie subscription, gold mine.
Yeah, so I've actually been working on a strategy for that. I do have a subscription option on the website now, but I haven't really been pushing it. But one other tactic I tried last month was and this wasn't with the subscription, but free add-on sample pack of flavors that I'm testing. So anybody that ordered that week got a free sample pack. So I want to add that model to the subscription. So anybody that has a subscription gets to be kind of in the inside circle, help me develop new flavors, gets to vote on it, gets to give their feedback. And I think that people love that. I love that as a customer.
What are your new flavors?
The Sinner was the winner. It's a cinnamon sugar topping on
Ooh.
the regular butter base.
Oh, that sounds great.
It's so good. It's a problem.
So, I mean, it sounds like you're pretty happy with your pandemic pivot.
Yeah, I love it. I'm literally delivering boxes of joy to people's doorsteps. I'm very lucky.
And it could be this could end up being a massive business. This could be why not? Why wouldn't it be?
I hope so.
Where do you make the cookies?
So I'm working out of a commercial kitchen now. I've moved into Foodie's Urban Kitchen. It's in Sun Valley, so I do all of my production there, but I'm still doing a lot of baking from home. I'm only there once a week. So I bake off orders as needed throughout the week, but I do all of my production at the commercial facility, and most of my shipping.
Is that the future of like businesses like yours where
for sure,
the cost is diminished and it's scalable?
Yeah. I've actually been thinking about, since I've been in the co-working world for the last 2 years, of even pivoting that business. I think there's definitely a need for, smaller makers to have professional kitchen spaces to be able to manufacture out of. And I got lucky with this one, but if I were to switch my model to focus more on like DoorDash and all of those, it's not in a residential neighborhood, so it really impedes my, the customers that I'd be able to deliver to, because I think with DoorDash it's like a 3-mile radius. So putting one of those commercial kitchens that's kind of set up as a co-working space in like I was thinking West Adams neighborhood, so that you've got a great radius of residential housing, but it's super freeway accessible, and you've got easy access to freeways and customers and makers and all that.
What can you find about the neighborhood? Like, are there any trends or patterns that you find about where your customers are?
Oh my gosh, they're all over the place. You'd think, my product is definitely not a cheap product. $25 for a 6-pack of cookies is pretty high up there, but I get customers. It's only me in this business now, so I'm the one that's delivering all the cookies, and you would think that it would be like the bougier neighborhoods of LA, but it's definitely not. It's definitely all over the place.
Do you think people are ordering? So let me ask you, so there's so many places I want to go with this. The first question I have is, are you finding that you're connecting with people who that you don't know ultimately?
So funny you asked me that question, because I was just telling my girlfriends the other day, I'm so emotionally attached to my customers now and the community that I've built on Instagram, from like bakers around the country that I've somehow randomly found, and customers and all the interactions that I have with them. I think also because our human interaction is more limited now, because we're not seeing friends and family in person as much, but it's so fulfilling, and it just brings me so much joy to have all these new friends on social media.
But I imagine when you started, you knew everyone who was ordering, right?
Yeah, at the beginning I definitely
did. The first
did.
$5,000 was people you knew.
For sure. But
And
now
probably,
I have, tons of new friends on Instagram of people I've never met before. Like a customer yesterday invited me into her home to go pick passion fruit from the vine in her backyard. So now I have a bag full of passion fruit from a stranger that's just like randomly found me on Instagram.
And so it sounds like people are finding you off of Instagram. Like that's your What about any like Facebook or Pinterest? Like is Instagram your main platform?
Yeah, Pinterest I haven't really had time to delve into. Facebook too, but I think because it's such a visual product and there's so much noise on Facebook right now. I guess there is on Instagram too, but Instagram is definitely how most people find me.
Wow, that's incredible. And what is your do you have an Instagram strategy? Like, what are you doing to get people to find you?
I have no strategy. I need help with
Okay.
that. I Yeah, a lot of people just share the cookies when they get them. I have a little postcard that says like, make sure you tag us on Instagram. Sharing is caring. That goes out with every order just to remind people. But I know that there is an app for Shopify that really encourages users to post user-generated content,
Hmm.
both in reviews and images and all of that. I just haven't had the time to install it
Hmm.
and figure it out.
That's fascinating. Like it's a testament to the fact that you have good cookies. Like
Hmm.
no, like marketing doesn't counter whether or not you have good product. You can market, you have the best marketing in the world, but if people don't want your product, like you might
Hmm.
as well just go out of business.
Right.
And you have the opposite. You have the very best cookie in the whole wide world, and no marketing strategy or very little marketing strategy, which is a testament to the product. It's
Sales and
incredible.
marketing is not my strong suit. I like spreadsheets and numbers and facts.
So
Like
do I.
I can spend all day in Excel. Uh, so this
Yes.
is new to me.
Yeah, the creative part, the design part. Yeah. But I mean, you've done this 3 times now. Like you're now, this is your third business.
Mhm. The clothing company was so long ago. I mean, we started that in 2008 and ran it through 2015. And our model, we had a direct sales model. So we had sales reps around the country that would do in-home trunk shows. And it was kind of, we tried to pivot into adding e-commerce, but our market just wasn't there yet and it wasn't successful. Um, so this is my first time really having to market and do everything for an e-com business.
Right. And how and what were your challenges starting up? Like when you like was it setting up Shopify? Was it like did
Shop
everything fall? Yeah.
Shopify is amazing. It's so easy. I had built our whole website before on WordPress,
Hmm.
but WordPress has changed so much in the 5 or 6 years that I've used it. It's over my head now. But Shopify is fantastic. It has all of the emails built into the system. So every time a customer places an order or all of that, you can modify the text and the colors and whatever to your branding, but it's ready to go. So it's a really great out of the box solution. Um, the hardest part getting started, I was doing everything out of my home kitchen. And I was growing faster than my kitchen could support. So at the beginning, I was having to shut off orders because I couldn't really get more than 100 orders a week out of my home kitchen.
And how did you overcome that?
I moved into the commercial space. So
Got it.
before my capacity was probably um, 800 cookies a week, I'd say. And that would be like me working from 5 a.m. until midnight every day.
Oh geez.
And now I can do 800 cookies in 4 hours.
Wow.
Hmm. So it's a
And
huge
you're and
difference.
so you're cooking every single cookie or is someone else helping you with this?
Hmm. So when I'm at the commercial space, they have two assistants that help me. It's called a co-packing facility. So they really are the ones that are handling the production. So usually when I'm there, they're the ones who are mixing and doing all of that. We've, you know, worked out the kinks on the recipe, and I am baking and packaging and shipping because that's my big shipping day that I'm there.
Right. So you're keeping close to the customer. Like it's really great market research.
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking people like what do you find that what are you fulfilling in these like it's such an interesting like psychology, I think, when a person finds a small business, and $45,000 in sales is not small at this point, but like a business who didn't exist a year ago and takes a chance and buys the cookies based on photos and testimonials,
Mm-hmm.
right? What are you finding about these people? Are they younger and or older, higher income, lower income? Are they just the type of people who are adventurous? What
I
you know?
honestly think it's everybody.
Yeah.
I have one fantastic customer that just loves supporting a small female owned business and loves that I just, made something out of nothing during this pandemic, and she has literally sent cookies to every single person that she knows. And then, like I said, I have people who are living in not the wealthy neighborhoods of LA, and this is just a treat for them, or they heard about it from, their cousin or their friend, and they just I I think that
Right.
there's also a movement happening where people are wanting to support small businesses, and they're starting to care more where their product comes from, which is something that's always been very important to me and why I've wanted to be an entrepreneur. Um, so I think that, people finally are jumping on board with that.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I think that that really resonates with me. There's going to be everything gets shifted when there's like, I don't know if we're in a recession or depression, or if we're not in all. The stock market says we're high, the rest of the world says we're not doing so well, right? The rest of the economic metrics. But I think what happens when people are scared is there's a number one, a flight to value. Anything that's lower cost, um, a treat that might have been $300 in the past, now you can do a $25 treat. And darn it, if I'm not going to get the very best cookie in the whole wide world. I love the name. I
Thank
mean, you're
you.
not messing around with the name.
I
You're
mean,
not saying I'm the, I'm probably pretty good cookie in the whole wide world. Love it.
it started totally as a joke. We were sitting around. It was April 10th. It was my mom's birthday, and we were, shooting the shit, eating cookies on the couch, wishing her a happy birthday. And I said, "This really is the very best cookie in the whole wide world." And my mom's like, "That's what you should call it." So I looked on the website was obviously available. So that was the initial website, and then I bought the very best cookie to shorten it and have an easier handle. But just like that, that's how it happened.
So you're sending, let's talk about your marketing, or the stuff that you're doing right now. You started with word of mouth. You have a Shopify page, a website. You're doing email marketing. Like, are you sending like once
Mm-hmm.
a week or once a month emails?
Yeah. I really have a love-hate relationship with email marketing. I think especially now people are just blowing up our inboxes. So I'm not sending out emails just to sell you. I only send out emails if I have something to say.
Yeah.
Um, one thing I do is we'll get a customer like in Orange County or the South Bay that says, "Hey, are you coming anytime soon?" So then I'll just put that out on Instagram, and then I'll usually sell out for the day, um, delivery wise. So that's been a good way to just, boost like 20 or 25 orders.
Wow.
Um,
So you post on social media regularly. How often do you post on Instagram?
I mean, I have no schedule. If something inspires me, I'll post it, or if I have a
Yeah.
question for the community, I'll ask it. But I'm not doing the whole, on Mondays you do quotes and on Tuesdays you do
Sure.
something about me. I just haven't gotten there yet.
The interest, my philosophy on, look, I think for a product like yours, social media and organic posting will do better than for many businesses.
Mhm.
In general, I don't think social media is going to be the primary driver of sales when you're trying to scale. I
Mhm.
think now, I think now it is, because I think what's going to happen is you're going to max out at what you can do with social media.
You would think so, but there's a company that I found. I don't know if you know of indie hackers. There's a cookie company called Crave Cookies. They're based in
Okay.
Fresno. They've done zero Facebook or Instagram ads. It's all been local press and word of mouth. They started in November of 18, so almost 2 years ago. And last I checked, they were doing over 200,000 a month in sales, and that's just from local press and word of mouth. And I understand that Fresno's a different it's a smaller city than LA, and there's probably less competition. But I think
Yeah.
when you develop the relationship with your customer and you really get that cult following, that it can become something else.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something that people want and it's a good quality product, it's definitely it's just gonna be easier to sell
Hmm.
overall. And social media and press are fantastic ways
Hmm.
to do that. I love, like, yeah, press is incredible. Testimonials, influencers, all that stuff is fantastic. I fully agree with you there.
Yeah, I've done a bunch of influencer marketing.
You have.
Um, just on accident, kind of. I landed into one of my friend's PR companies, press boxes, and I've gotten such mixed results. It's so hard.
Tell me about that. What have you found?
Um, it went out in 35 boxes, and I think maybe like 5 or 6 people posted the cookies, and all of the posts were phenomenal. They were like eating. It was a mom blogger focus,
Mhm.
so eating the cookies with their kids and like chocolate covered faces. And I think I ended up only getting like maybe 5 or 6 sales
Mm.
from all of those posts. And I mean, it was influencers that had anywhere from like 20,000 to 500,000 followers. But then I also accidentally got cookies on What's Gabi Cooking. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a pretty well known chef and Instagram personality.
Mhm.
Um, so I had sent her cookies actually as a gift from my friend that has a podcast. She was a guest on his podcast, and I was not expecting her to post them, and she posted them as soon as she got them. And I had to turn off my sales because I just didn't even have the inventory to fill it.
Wow.
Hmm.
So you're like, what can you max out at in terms of like
I mean,
sales weekly or monthly right now?
this was before I was in the commercial kitchen, so that was when I was still doing everything from home. So I was like, I think I got like maybe $2,000 or $3,000 in sales in a 24-hour period, and had to
How does it break? What needs to happen so that you're like, holy cow, I need to shut off orders in the
I
new.
mean, now I do 200 orders in a week. I have that inventory ready to go. Um, and with the help at the kitchen, I can drag my sister in. That's about my weekly max. But
Okay,
for me to do more than that, I just need to take on additional time at the kitchen.
got it. So you can do about $5,000 a week.
Hmm.
And if you take on more time at the kitchen, you can double that,
Oh,
10,000 a week.
I could quadruple that pretty much. I've
Wow.
calculated my goal for next year is 500,000 in sales. We'll see. I mean, it's a goal. Um, and
Why not? You could double that.
and at the rate, I like I said, I'm very into numbers and spreadsheets. So I figured out exactly how many minutes it takes to make a cookie, including baking and all of that. So I would be able to get through basically all of next year working at a shared kitchen before I would need to branch off into my own space.
And what action? What are you going to do to get to that $500,000 number? Like,
That's what I need to figure out. I need I need help with the sales strategy. I really want to focus on holiday gifting. I think it's great, especially for small and medium businesses, to send to their employees or to clients or whatever. Um, I think as offices start to reopen, starting to have individually wrapped treats for employees will be a good opportunity for me. I've been on one TV show I got on, Supermarket Sweeps, when they started refilming. And
I
so I
used to
think,
love that show when I was a kid.
yeah, it's back. And I know that apparently there's a chocolate chip cookie competition amongst the craft caterers. So I think that that could be a good avenue for me to pursue. So I'm just, making lists, and I need to start doing outreach.
You know, have you heard of Entrepreneurs Organization (EO)? So
Maybe,
they're an
don't you have to
entrepreneur.
be doing a million a year?
You have to do. I don't actually. Maybe I'm not sure. So I should know because I'm a part of it. I don't know what needed to happen to get in, but I got it. But I was thinking like they actually sent us like I think and I'm relatively new to the organization, only actually now almost a year, but they sent us a gift bag sometime in May or June, and it included a cookie. I'm trying to remember. It was like a shot glass cookie thing. It's like a cookie, make like a shot glass or whatever, and you can pour booze in it or whatever. Point is, that would be another avenue for you because you get double the benefit. Number one, you get access to a group of business owners who can then be further influencers
Hmm.
and support your B2B strategy.
Hmm.
And Vistage is another one that I'm not a part of, but I understand it's like EO.
Hmm. A member of Trends. I don't know if you know Trends or The Hustle.
No.
The Hustle's a media company that features kind of tech and small businesses, and it's really catered towards entrepreneurs. It's my favorite. I absolutely love The Hustle, but the Trends is their kind of smaller subsidiary members only group, and the community on Facebook has been phenomenal.
How so? How phenomenal in what way?
I mean, any kind of question you can imagine, you can post it onto the community and you'll get tons of feedback and answers. So at the beginning of my journey, I had an idea if I wanted to pursue the DoorDash kind of route of like a sample ad with like a melty chocolate chip cookie breaking in half, saying see you in 30, and like asking the community if that kind of ad would work. If I could, I've never done ads before, so am I allowed to geo target or whatever you would call that? So I got tons of feedback from the community saying like, yes, this is how you do it. This is things to look for, retargeting. I had no idea what retargeting was. So all of that.
Yeah, retargeting
that was
is
like
great.
4 days into my journey, but
That's fascinating.
it's a great group. You should check it out.
Yeah, I will. I think I've heard of The Hustle. I'm not a part. I think do they charge for that, or is it free?
The Hustle is free. It's a daily email. And they do a conference. Well, they used to do a conference. That's how they got started every year. That was like a tech conference for non-techies.
Nice. Yeah, I think so many people when they get started, they end up in, and I'll speak for myself. I end up in the muck of marketing technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's funny because we're an ad firm, but marketing technology is so cumbersome.
Mm-hmm.
Like connecting, and we've gotten a lot better at it, and we started doing this for clients. So it's like connecting MailChimp and Zapier and WooCommerce and whatnot. I've done it for myself so that we can start automating a lot of this process. But like, we have some clients that like, it just takes so much time and they get so caught up in learning the knowledge, learning how to do the marketing tech. It's like, it's not even valuable for you. It is in a way. You got to learn it, but it's not critical to start. Like, do the thing you want to do and actually pay for someone else to actually teach you what to do and set up the infrastructure. Like, there's website stuff that we never have to do. We have one person, he does it, it's done, and we never have to touch it again. So simple.
Yeah.
Economies of scale, and using and you're taking ownership of using money to buy you more time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one thing that I've struggled with a lot, is that I try and do it all myself, whether it be building the website or, doing all the production or all the social media. And you just can't do everything. You need to focus on what you're good at and what's going to drive your sales, and let everybody else do the rest.
And it's, what's interesting is that I think in a way, as an entrepreneur, it's really great to keep your hands in the dirt, as it were.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
The fact that you're delivering directly to your customers is such, like, you probably don't even realize how great the feedback you're getting is and how much it's impacting your business. Like, it's it's intangible and invaluable how much your business is being impacted by the fact that you get feedback directly from your customers.
Well, I think also some of the best business advice I've ever received. I have a friend that owns a candy store chain in Mexico, and he said that he spends at least one day a month going through all the positions in his company, so he understands what pain points they're feeling. And I think once you remove yourself from, all the minutia of the business, then you're losing touch of what the problems are. And how are you going to solve a problem if you don't know, operationally what that problem looks like?
Yeah. Operations are key. And it's also very hard to let go. Like, there's going to come a point, and I've been there, and I'm sure you'll be there, and you've been
I'm
there.
ready to let go of the deliveries. I'm ready.
You are.
I mean, I have a stupid car, not a smart car, so my GPS doesn't connect with my I don't have a screen to look at, so it's and I'm super ADD, and listening is hard for me, so I'll like miss directions and get lost, and it takes too long.
So, have you looked at solutions for that, or is that? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I actually have some friends that are laid off hospitality workers that are ready to come on board doing deliveries for me as soon as I have the volume to, pay them.
That's amazing. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure the infrastructure is there. So on the docket for you for the next like 3 to 6 months is better marketing, more marketing, a marketing strategy. Without a strategy, you just like you might have gold right in front of you, and you'll never know it if you don't have a strategy. That's kind of
Yeah.
like the big problem without having a strategy.
Yep.
So developing a strategy, and then so like how like going to B2B folks or holiday gifting, like how are you gonna how are you gonna find how are you gonna create trial or exposure to these new markets?
I mean, I have a time block carved out for early next week to start sending people like a one-page slide of like past gifting versus what I could offer with different price points, and just hitting my LinkedIn network, asking for referrals, sending samples. I'm happy to send all the samples because once people try them, as I've said, they're converted. But yeah, just starting, tapping into my network.
That's amazing. So and you ship international or nationally,
Hmm.
not internationally, right?
Not
Right.
internationally, just
Got it.
nationally.
And the cookies, and I imagine they're individually wrapped or whatever, and like they'll stay for a couple days traveling.
Hmm. Yep. I actually just moved to individually wrapped. I used to vacuum seal a 6-pack, but
Mhm.
um, just bought a new machine to individually wrap them all. So they stay individually fresher longer. It still has a pretty short shelf life because there's no preservatives, so they're best enjoyed within a few days. Um, and you can kind of refresh them with a zap in the microwave or toasting them in the oven for a few
Oh man,
minutes.
I've been trying to be so good. I've been trying to be so good. Like I was on this keto diet, and I've been eating keto, and I haven't had anything like overtly sugary. And I'm like, man,
Got to get you some cookies.
I'm gonna have to share them with our neighbors and my wife and our little 21-month-old. No, no.
Oh,
Well, this is amazing. I wish you the best of luck. This is
thank you.
so cool. And okay, so tell us the website again.
Theverybestcookie.com.
Theverybestcookie.com. If people want to reach out to you for press or more knowledge, entrepreneurial stuff, how can they reach out to you?
Email is probably best. My email is Kirstyn, Kirstyn, at theverybestcookie.com.
Amazing. Kirstyn
Or
Shaw, founder at The Very Best Cookie in the whole wide world. I love that.